Hello again, friends. Well, I have found it, the earliest version of The Sorcerer's Apprentice. And it's not even its own story. It's actually part of a satirical work written by Lucian of Samosata in around 150 to 170 CE, called The Lover of Lies, or The Doubter. It was all about how easily people are willing to believe in the supernatural. Being somewhat supernatural myself, I fail to see what's so funny. But anyway, I did find the section that pertains to what we will someday know as the Sorcerer's Apprentice. The section we will read to you today is called Eucrates and Pancrates.
I somehow doubt that's how that's pronounced.
You sure?
Yes.
Oh, well, I'll come up with a different pronunciation when we start reading it.
Probably closer to Socrates.
Socrates.
Eucrates and Pancrates, the Egyptian miracle worker. The book is about 30 pages long, so if you want to hear the whole thing, you will have to say so in the comments. Join me now as we read this excerpt from The Lover of Lies by Lucian. When I was a young man, I passed some time in Egypt, my father having sent me to that country for my education. I took it into my head to sail up the Nile to Coptus, and thence pay a visit to the statue of Memnon, and hear the curious sound that proceeds from it at sunrise. In this respect, I was more fortunate than most people, who hear nothing but an indistinct voice. Memnon actually opened his lips and delivered me an oracle in 7 hexameters. Wikipedia? Trying to help me out with this one? Dactylic hexameter is a form of meter used in ancient Greek epic and didactic poetry, as well as in epic, didactic, satirical, and pastoral Latin poetry. Its name derives from Greek dactylus and hex. Well, that just clears everything up.
It's 6 fingers.
Then why is it a 7? Never mind. It's foreign to my present purpose, or I would quote you the very lines. Well, now, one of my fellow passengers on the way up was a scribe of Memphis, an extraordinarily able man, versed in all the lore of the Egyptians. He was said to have passed 23 years of his life underground in the tombs, studying occult sciences under the instruction of Isis herself. "You must mean the divine Pancrates, my teacher," exclaimed Arignatus. "Tall, clean-shaven, snub-nosed, protruding lips, rather thin in the legs, dresses entirely in linen, has a thoughtful expression, and speaks Greek with a slight accent." Yes, it was Pancrates himself. I knew nothing about him at first, but whenever we anchored, I used to see him doing the most marvelous things. For instance, he would actually ride on the crocodiles' backs and swim among the brutes, and they would fawn upon him and wag their tails. And then I realized that he was no common man. I made some advances, and by imperceptible degrees came to be on quite a friendly footing with him, and was admitted to share in his mysterious arts. The end of it was that he prevailed on me to leave all my servants behind at Memphis and accompany him alone, assuring me that we should not want for attendance. This plan was accordingly followed from that time onwards. Whenever we came to an inn, he used to take up the bar of the door, or a broom, or perhaps a pestle, dress it up in clothes, and utter a certain incantation, whereupon the thing would begin to walk about, so that everyone took it for a man.
A very skinny man.
And weirdly colored, depending on what he used. It would go off and draw water, buy and cook provisions, and make itself generally useful. When we had no further occasion for its services, there was another incantation, after which the broom was a broom once more, or the pestle a pestle. I could never get him to teach me this incantation, though it was not for want of trying. Open as he was about everything else, he guarded this one secret jealously.
Perhaps for a reason.
Nah! At last, one day, I hid in a dark corner and overheard the magic syllables. They were 3 in number.
Clatu, Verata, Nictu.
Clatu, Verata, Nictu. Okay.
The Egyptian gave the pestle its instructions and then went off to the market. Well, next day he was again busy in the market, so I took the pestle, dressed it, pronounced the 3 syllables exactly as he had done, and ordered it to become a water carrier. It brought me the pitcherful, and then I said, "Stop, be a water carrier no longer."
Clatu, Verata, Necktie.
But pestle as heretofore. But the thing would take no notice of me. It went on drawing water the whole time, until at last the house was full of it. This was so awkward. If Pancrates came back, he would be angry, I thought, and so indeed it turned out. I took an axe and cut the pestle in 2.
Aren't pistols made out of stone?
Usually marble, yeah.
That's a strong axe.
It's a heck of an axe. We all need an axe like that.
No, I think it would slice through the floor.
Did I do that?
Point. The result was that both halves took pitchers and fetched water. I had 2 water carriers instead of 1. This was still going on when Pancrates appeared. He saw how things stood and turned the water carriers back into wood. I guess it wasn't marble.
Oh.
And then he withdrew himself from me and went away, whither I knew not. "And you can actually make a man out of a pestle to this day?" asked Diomachus. "Yes, I can do that. But this is only half the process. I cannot turn it back again into its original form. If once it became a water carrier, its activity would swamp the house." Well, there it is. The very first ever Sorcerer's Apprentice. It is clearly the story we all know and love, with a few little differences. Basically, the old warning of never take a genie out of the bottle unless you know how to put him back. Well, it's that time. I bring your attention to the little train at the bottom of the screen, reminding you of all those fun like and sharing things that make YouTube happy. I suppose I should also mention Patreon. You can find more information in the description below. I would also like to thank Pixabay.com and all the wonderful contributors who provide such sounds, images, videos, and music. More importantly, I would like to thank you, my friends. You being with me week after week makes everything worthwhile. I would have quit a couple of years ago, if not for you. Thank you for being with me all this time. I mean, I can't even get my mother to watch. Well, anyway, hang on after the thank you to my Patreon friends for images of Rosie and Tiger to go with the nice music I'm playing. And now a special thank you for my Patreon friends.